Well, Memorial Day went well for the Rockies. They won a twin bill yesterday, a day off, and tonight we welcome you to Coors Field. The Rockies continue their series against the Houston Astros. This is game 3 of a 4-game set. It is an absolutely gorgeous evening for baseball in lower downtown Denver. And good evening, everybody. I'm Drew Goodman. We begin today with a roster move. Jamie Moyer, who made history with the Rockies earlier this year in winning a baseball game at the age of 49 and a half, basically the oldest player ever to win a Major League Baseball game, was designated for assignment earlier this afternoon. He met with the media.
All I could ask for when I came here was an opportunity. Unfortunately, I didn't hold up to my end of the bargain. And, this is what happens in the game.
I had a conversation with him in my office this afternoon, and I just really feel, in relation to your question, Troy, that in Jamie's best interest, in our organization's best interest, that we were compromising both, and I didn't feel like that was fair to either.
And I welcome in my partner, George Frazier. And George, you pitched in this league for a long time. Not nearly as long as Jamie did. Jamie wants to keep on playing. It's not easy for either side.
Hey, listen, it was a great story. He came in and won a ball game at, like Drew said, 49 and a half years old. And it is tough when you get that call into the manager's office and they say goodbye to you. But there was some happy moments for him, particularly when he won the ball game here. To be the oldest guy to win a baseball game, 269 wins in his career. And I think for Jamie, it's a time to go home. Only he will know that, and baseball will let you know that. And I think for Jamie Moyer, it's been a great career. I know I talked to him for about an hour in the dugout today prior to his release. I kind of had some inkling of what was getting ready to happen, but we had a conversation. What's next? And I said, do you want to stay in the game? And he said, it would depend on what capacity. And I think when you've played as long as he's had, and fortunately enough to make the money he's had, he doesn't necessarily have to. He can go home and be dad to 8 kids if he wants to.
Well, the first thing he's going to do is going to go home and be dad because he's going to watch one of his sons play baseball. But Jamie Moyer has had a terrific run, won a couple of ball games in a Rockies uniform. And now the Rockies and Jamie will move on. Dexter Fowler, speaking of moving on, he was everywhere on Monday. We'll chat about his performance next. Monday was a big day for Dexter Fowler and the Rockies. They swept the Astros. Dexter was 7 for 9 in the twin bill, and his average now rests in the mid-270s. He's actually having a big month of May. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. He can be confounding at times. We know that. He also can be one of the most intriguing players in the National League, George, because he has a very interesting skill set.
Well, he can be electric is what he can be. I mean, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark all of a sudden with this added weight, added strength. He's shown that. He's done that. He got his first opportunity to lead off, and he said, man, was I excited when I saw that lineup card with me in the #1 slot. That's all I've ever done in my whole career. I couldn't wait to get that chance and opportunity, and that's exactly what he did. He raised his average 39 points over that span. The ball hit down into the corner. The speed took over. They win the baseball game. And it is nice to see that excitement, that electricity at the top of the lineup. But you're right. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's not so good. And it's a matter of finding that happy median for him, because he can play defense with any center fielder in baseball.
And to try to sustain what he did in the second half of last year, now what we're getting a glimpse of over the last few days. Hopefully it continues for Dexter. He'll be at the top of the lineup tonight. The Rockies getting ready to go against the Astros. Christian Friedrich will be on the hill. Come on back to 20th and Blake with us. CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Christian Friedrich with a 2-1 record, getting ready to go as he jogs to the mound at Coors Field on a perfect Wednesday evening for baseball. And the first man he'll face, the former Atlanta Brave, Jordan Schaefer, who's enjoying a nice season in his first full year in Houston. Came in a trade right before the deadline last year. Michael Bourne was involved. And of course, Bourne now starring for the Braves. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for Brad Mills. He'll have Jose Altuve. What a great story this young man is. A 22-year-old batting .302. He'll be followed by the former Red Sox farmhand Jed Lowry, Carlos Lee, El Caballo back cleanup, J.D. Martinez in left field, Justin Maxwell, the former National and New York Yankee briefly, Chris Johnson, Chris Snyder, and sinker ball artist Lucas Harrell. George, when this young man is throwing downhill. He reminds you a little bit of Cliff Lee.
It reminds me of Cliff Lee, the body, the action on the ball. I'm going to go back a little ways, but Floyd Bannister, a guy that was very successful, #1 draft pick at one point. But Friedrich needs to stay down in the strike zone. Now, when he does get the fastball up, if they chase, things are pretty good for him. He's gone 5 innings in 4 of his starts this season for the Rockies. I think a very confident young man that wants to go out and rectify what happened in his last start here at Coors Field.
So Friedrich has completed his warm-up pitches, and Schaefer steps in. Jordan just 3 for 26 this year, left on left, and historically he struggles to catch up with plus fastballs, and that's what Friedrich has. He'll work 92 to 94 with that heater, touch 95. First pitch missed, ball 1. And that's right at the knees. And George, we always talk about downhill playing when it comes to pitching. He has downhill playing.
Yes, he does. And that's really what creates so much movement on what he has done as a pitcher. I mean, he will stay down in the strike zone.
Not at 94 miles an hour. It's quickly a ball at 2 strikes. Jordan Schaefer, the Florida native.
What Drew's talking about is when he releases the baseball, we'll get back to it here in just a second, of what he does. And then again, I think that hard slider's going to become more prevalent in his delivery, along with that hard curveball. Trying to paint the fastball. What Drew's talking about, a lot of guys will work flat to the plate, and what Christian does is he works downward angles this way. So that's what really creates a lot of that downward plane, downward movement on everything.
Misses in, and it's 3-2.
I like his aggressiveness, though. Now just get the ball, get on the mound, and throw it. Has a plan, going to live with it. A refreshing comment was, if it's their strength, so be it. If it's my strength, they just got to beat me with it. I'm not going to sit and worry about that guy might be a good fastball hitter. I'm going to go with it.
There's so much evidence of increased maturity with Christian Friedrich. First and foremost, the changing of the body type. 35 pounds of weight loss. He's now in phenomenal condition. But just what you said, George, making that kind of statement.
Yeah, I'm here to get people out. A little soft tapper. Good athlete, too. Oh, boy, Rosario going to snatch it. Couldn't do anything with it.
So on the proverbial swinging bunt, there goes your no-hitter. Jordan Schaefer at first. That'll bring up Jose Altuve.
3-2 count, not great wood, just tapped it, spin on the baseball, carried it out, and then all of a sudden just stayed in fair territory. When Lean grabbed a hold of it, not a chance to make the throw and run a risk of throwing that thing down the right field line.
Schaefer with good speed at first, 14 of 18 swiping bags. Now Jose Altuve. He's hitting .358 against lefties. He is the shortest player in baseball, listed at 5'6". And he has gotten to the big leagues very quickly.
Because he can hit.
He can flat out hit. George, he's not up there to do anything but hit. He has only 13 walks. Slowly hit, and one play. Good decision by Pacheco.
See, that's a decision you probably don't see him make at the start of the year. That's how comfortable he's becoming with playing third base. A lot of guys would have tried to charge that, make an unorthodox throw to second base, realizing he's got Jordan Schaefer at first, great speed. I'm not going to have a chance at him. He's fielding the ball right here. I'm going to get the out. Early in the ball game, I'm getting the out. Very good decision.
So here comes Jed Lowry, switch hitter in from the right side. Lowry's been pretty consistent both ways. 270 right-handed and batting .283 left-handed. Probably has a little more pop lefty and a little better hitter from the right side. He hit a home run on Monday.
If he can stay healthy, it's a very productive player.
That pitch off the plate, ball 1. Ground ball to short. Tulowitzki crossing over, and a bad decision there. Thank you very much. Jordan Schaefer, bad read on the baseball. 6-5 on the putout, 2 gone. And Lowry's at first base. Defensively, the Rockies will have an outfield of Cargo, Dexter Fowler, and Michael Kadire. In the infield, Pacheco, Tulowitzki, Scudero, and Help, with Orlin Rosario behind the plate. And Orlin will get a ton of reps with the injury to Ramon Hernandez. Will Nieves now serving as the backup. Perfect night. 73 degrees. A little bit of a breeze. El Caballo steps in. Carlos Lee. There's a lot of offense, George, on Monday in that double dip. And at one point, Carlos Lee had 5 straight hits.
Tell you what, you know what it is? The power may not be there now, but the gap is, and the base hits are. This guy can flat hit. He's still going to hit his home runs, but not like he did 5, 6, 7 years ago.
He's in the final year of his deal, a very lucrative deal. He's making $18 million this year. And I think some thought, because he has 2 very big ranches, one in his native Panama, one in Texas, working ranches, cattle ranches. And I think many people believe that, you know, when this deal's up, that he'll become a full-time rancher. This is on the ground to short, cut off by Pacheco. Nicely done, good inning. And he says he wants to continue his career beyond this year. Having a good season, good start for Friedrich.
Tuesday and a Monday, but it's just weird. Hey Dex, let me throw you one real quick. Watch yourself.
Hey, it's Mic'd Up Wednesday, and Michael Kadire was wearing the microphone during batting practice. We'll get more from him a little bit later on. First pitch from Lucas Harrell in there for a strike to Dexter Fowler. Dexter's average, as George mentioned in the open, up to 276. 7 home runs and 23 RBIs.
Lucas Harrell will work very quickly. That's why Dexter backed out.
But that pitch counted.
Yeah, it's a 1-1.
No time. It's a 1-1 count. He backed out, but was not granted time by home plate umpire Marty Foster. That's why you always teach kids at an early age, call time verbally. Don't just step out with your hand up. It's on the umpire whether or not he grants it. Dexter's
either
doing the right thing.
Either way, he can grant or not grant. It's up to him whether you verbally say it or not. The umpire can give it to you or not. And a lot of them, Drew, will not call it if a pitcher has started into his delivery because of an arm injury, obviously. I always tell young pitchers, go ahead and throw a ball. Don't try to hesitate and stop halfway through your delivery if your arm's coming forward.
1-2. Well, Lucas Harrell, George, threw an absolute gem at the Rockies the second day of the season. 7 innings, 7 shutout innings, 3 hits, struck out 4, didn't walk about it.
First 5 starts were not that great for him. 1-2, 471. Last 5, 3-1, 2.76. And then the start against the Rockies, that opening weekend series, he had very good command of a fastball, both sides of the plate, and particularly down with movement. I don't think the hitters picked the ball up well off of his delivery at all.
He is a contact pitcher. And the minute I say that, he gets a strikeout. That's the first swing and miss he's had in 2 games.
Yeah, this is crazy, folks. I want to say this very quickly. 0 swing and misses. Only 7 starters since 2000 to pitch more than 7 innings in a game and allow 1 run or less and have 0 swing and misses. That's the first one. Yeah, 7 1/3 innings. Isn't that something?
Yeah, he beat Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers, best team in baseball record-wise right now. He had 17 ground ball outs. He did not have 1 guy swing and miss. Marco Scutaro takes a strike. This will be an interesting test for him with the ball in play in a ballpark, as we all know, where there's a lot of holes.
Well, there's a lot of holes, and I'm interested to see what the wind does tonight, because it's really blowing fairly strong in off of the stands, which causes a swirling effect into the right center field area. And we saw some balls hit there Monday. They got out in a hurry.
1-1 on Marco. That's outside. Scutaro, I was chatting with him earlier, with Boston last year, primarily hit down in the lineup. A couple years back in Toronto, he hit a lot of leadoff. He's hitting the 2-hole in his career. A little bit this year, as you see on that graphic. 2-1 on Marco, and that's off the plate. 3-1. Harrell's interesting, George, and I don't get this. Everybody is looking for pitching. Last year, just designated for assignment, put on waivers, 3-2, by the White Sox. Houston, who had first dibs, they had the worst record. They picked him up. This guy started. He's working out of the 2 slot in their rotation.
Yeah, well, this is a pretty good arm. I mean, he's going to end up walking Scooter on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He had surgery in 2007 on his shoulder, and the velocity didn't really respond until last year. They thought they could sneak him back through waivers in the middle of the year. Nobody would take him. They could buy something at AAA, keep him in the organization. Obviously, it did not happen.
Here's the rest of the batting order presented by Southwest Airlines. In the 3-4 spot, a couple guys you may be familiar with, Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki. They're starting to heat up in tandem. Todd Helton will bat 5th, Michael Kadire next, Willeen Rosario with 7 home runs. And then Jordan Pacheco has really been swinging the bat. He'll bat 8th in front of the pitcher, Friedrich. Cargo had 4 hits in the twin bill on Monday, leading the club with 10 home runs and 37 driven in. He had a double against Harrell in that start down at Minute Maid. Rockies lost that ball game 7-3. The 3 runs came against the bullpen late. 1 out, Scutaro at first. 2-0.
Typical strike throwers finding a tough time here. 6 out of the last 7 been out of the strike zone. Struggles out on the road. That win on the road against Kershaw, that was his only one. 467 earned run average over that span. Very good at home, though. 3-0, 231, and not a pitcher's ballpark.
And the 2-0 misses. 3-0. Well, who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. So 3-0 on Gonzalez, who does not mind swinging 3-0 if given the green light. He gets it here, and he hits a laser to center field.
I'm a firm believer. With bats like his, Tulowitzki, Helton, let him swing it. Kadire,
you know what?
It's fastball situation. It's early in a ball game. You're going to get one to hit. Not many guys are going to throw you that with Tulowitzki right behind you.
George, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but you know from playing this game for so long, there are some guys, even great ones, for whatever reason, they don't like to hit 3-0.
No, they don't. I mean, they think it's going to be a trick pitch or something else, but he stays geared all the way through that at bat just to smack something.
So the Rockies with a little something going here. 2 on for Tulowitzki with 1 out. Troy's got an 8-game hitting streak going to the tune of 406. And he takes a strike on Monday. As he did in Cincinnati, he went deep again. Center field shot for Troy, his 8th of the year. It was 4 for 8 in the doubleheader. And this is a pop fly to shallow right. And it's dropped out there. And they're going to get a force still at second base. Dropped by Maxwell coming on. That's a play in a perfect world. You'd like to have Altuve make your second baseman based on where he had to run to.
Yeah, you would think Altuve would be the guy out there. He peels off. I think Maxwell's calling him off, though. I think that's why he peeled away from the baseball. Long run. That's that wind we're talking about, knocking the baseball down, or is it going to carry it? In this one, it knocked it down, and Maxwell just booted the baseball. But you got to go back to the bag. That's exactly what they had to do. They'll force Carlos at second base.
First and third, 2 gone. Helton at the plate. Todd played 1 of the 2 on Monday. Actually ended up playing both ends. He was 2 for 9. Let me correct that. This ball pulled foul. Glenn Allen Hill jumping out of the way. Defensively, the Astros will have J.D. Martinez, Jordan Schaefer, and Maxwell in the outfield. Schaefer's yet to make an error. Chris Johnson, Jed Lowry left side, Altuve and Carlos Lee with Chris Snyder, the veteran backstop. Here's the 1-1, runner going, and the throw is down low. Cutting in front of the bag was Lowry. Tulowitzki with a stolen base, and that's the second for Troy.
I honestly think they were set up defensively in this situation to prevent the double steal. So that's why the throw caught so far out in front of the bag on the ground, and then to be able to cut the run off, the Scooter would have had to go to home plate.
1-2 on Todd. Helton, despite a .230 average, hitting .378 with runners in scoring position, which is 5th best in the league. And it's 3-2 with Kadire on deck. Dyer scored the game-winning run in Game 2 on Monday after Dexter Fowler tripled him in the 10th. Scudero walked. Tulowitzki hit into a fielder's choice. 9-6. You don't write that every day. He's at second. Ball 4, and they're loaded up for Kadire. For a guy that doesn't walk a lot of people, George, that's 2 walks here in the first frame.
And 3 ball counts. I mean, that's the other thing I noticed about him. He has not been in command of this. Maybe the ballpark has scared him somewhat or made him think he has to be too perfect. 3 ball counts in the game. Kadire 2 for 4 with the bases loaded. The Rockies 281 as a team.
Well, he's hit 1 grand slam and very nearly hit another grand slam this year. This ball is well hit to right field, way back, and he has hit another granny. Michael Kadire. second slam of the season. And Oppo won at that. 4-0 Colorado.
You're talking about give a comfort zone to a young starter. And Christian Friedrich, you just did it. One swing of the bat. Fastball away, fastball up, out over the plate. Not sure what Brad Mills' argument is. He's coming out to look at it and talk about it. One more look at his swing on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo 2. See that ball away from him? Man, able to drive that up out of the zone a little bit. And I honestly think what the argument is, did the fan reach out of the stands out over into the yellow area and catch this baseball? Clearly out of the ballpark on top. Clearly out of the ballpark.
Yeah, they're going to get together now and talk about it.
It's part of that replay of the home runs.
This will be our best angle. I don't think you can reach that far from where the fan is.
It's almost, it's got to be, what, 4.5, 5 feet? The only way you get out there is if you crawl out on top of that.
Yeah, it's on the roofing of the scoreboard. And I think he short hops it. Did he short hop? It doesn't matter. It's on. He can't physically reach that far.
Man, they're going to go give it a look anyway.
That's fine.
And they have to.
They have to. It's the right thing to do, and it's not going to change anything.
It shouldn't take long, folks.
Well, normally Harold gets a lot of ground balls, George, but Cargo obviously scorched the ball to center field. Tulowitzki got underneath the ball, and Kadire just hit one about 375 to the opposite field.
Elevated sinkers get squared up pretty easy. Those have been squared up.
George, I am so confident that this will come back as a grand slam. I've already written it in the book. That was quick. Grand slam. Get high fives once more through. So Kadire now at 32 driven in, his 7th career slam. And the Rockies already have 4 slams, and we're not out of May. Michael's got a couple, Helton's got one, Ramon Hernandez has one. Here's Willeen Rosario. He takes strike 1. Gotta love those 4-run home runs, Frazier.
Give you that comfort level rather quickly. Is that what you're saying?
I know you liked them when you hurled.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things about Harold's repertoire, George, is it's everything's hard. There's not an off-speed pitch in his repertoire. Really.
Well, and that's why a lot of people think sometimes when guys are like this, everything's just so overpowering that they go to the bullpen, because that's where it works better for you.
I mean, that's his other pitch. It's a slider, but it's a mid-80s slider. Willeen leading all rookies in home runs with 7.
I thought it was an interesting comment from Jerry Weinstein, who's up this year as replacing Mark Foley as the catching coach, if you want to put it that way. That what Willeen has been able to do is slow the game down, and that's difficult for a young player to do. Really have that thought process to come through. The league knows he has a difficult time trying to hit the slider. They understand that. You better not throw him a fastball middle half in. He runs well, he hustles, he plays the game the right way. Almost beat it out.
Yeah, he did. He almost got a leg hit there on a routine ground ball to short. Michael Kadire with the bases jammed. First pitch he sees, he hits out to right. 4-0 beginning for Colorado.
We go top two. I'm out here in right field, and you can see to lean over and get to that line, it's almost impossible to do. And guess who I found out here? Woody, who's Jeremy Guthrie's fan, and is out here. There's no way anybody could reach over, right?
I don't think so. Or what am I supposed to be arguing? I'm not entirely.
No. We're showing the replay. Somebody tried to reach over and catch the slam, which came over the wall, but there's no way you could reach over and physically do it, right?
Absolutely not. There's no way.
Mark,
Thank you.
Mark,
it's confirmed.
Was he at the concession stand when that happened, Mark?
He was not.
Oh, okay.
He was out here. And the ball landed a little bit to the left of me, Frazier.
Did you say his name's Woody Guthrie? I got confused there with your preamble.
Woody's the guy that, remember Jeremy Jeremy said he wanted to have a catch?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Woody showed up at the field, and they had a little catch, and he's had cancer, but he's surviving. He's that guy.
Baby.
Yeah.
That's our man.
That's
Beautiful.
our man, right. It's a good day out here in Wright.
There's a base hit, J.D. Martinez, and Dexter cuts it off, and now the throw to second. Tell you what, Martinez thought about stretching that. That's a wonderful play defensively by Dexter.
And I really think a lot of teams, once they get in there and they play one or two games, they've had 48 hours to kind of go through the process of what they need to do here, that they realize sometimes you can take advantage of this. Well, this guy at the plate, Drew, Justin Maxwell hit a ball on Monday to where Sammy Sosa hit a ball in 1998. It actually went in the men's bathroom on the concourse. I'll give you a look at this.
Well, maybe it had to go, George.
It had to go, and it went big time. Let me tell you, this thing got out of here so quick, and it landed 448 feet up on the concourse.
Well, I know Alex White had a disappointed look. At some point, you have to. This is a double play ball, though. Troy to Scudero on the first, safe there. Big man can run.
He's got great tools. It's just never panned out for him at the big league level. He's hit over 25, 30 home runs at different stops in the minor leagues, but has not been able to bring it all to the big leagues with him.
Trace is going to
consistent basis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Drew. Trace is going to argue about this. We're going to look again.
Get a good look at it right here. Yeah, this is typical of the look that you get that will tell you the right answer. Out. Here's the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. It's going to tell you exactly. It's the put down. Safe. Good call. I thought he was out on the other look, but on the Supermo it tells you.
Tim
He was
Timmons
safe.
at first got it right. So one out. Maxwell trades places with Martinez. It is that time of night where you don't want to be a first base umpire and you don't want to be a first baseman. It is hard when the ball is hit to the left side to see the baseball coming across the diamond. Here's Chris Johnson.
That's why a lot of teams try to steal early in games at Coors Field. I'm serious when I say that, because it's difficult on the first baseman when a left-hander drops his hand down sidearm. It comes right out of the sun. If it gets too high, it crosses through the sun. It makes it difficult on a pickoff. So unless you just have, a burner at first base, a lot of times you're not going to make that pick.
Maxwell at first, George was describing that home run he hit. I was starting to say, Alex White, at the end of the day, you got to be somewhat proud. You threw the ball hard enough that a guy could hit it that far, right?
Absolutely. Tip your hat to him. Go, hey, I gave that one up.
Maxwell's an interesting story at first. We saw him in Washington a couple years ago, and you're right, he's got all the tools. He is a kid that grew up in the D.C. area. He had the grades we all wish we had. He had a perfect GPA in high school, got into Harvard. He's gone the baseball route. Picked up by Houston when the Yankees released him. That's a base hit right center field. Maxwell will go first to third. And that'll bring up the catcher, Chris Snyder.
Snyder's average struggled a little bit, but you still have to respect the power, because Jason Castro has been getting a majority of the catching duties. He's 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, well under 200 at 180. 183 as he comes into the ball game at this veteran catcher giving a little bit of presence to the organization and to Castro behind the plate.
Snyder gets the hook, 0-1. 31-year-old catcher, 6 years in an Arizona uniform at the big league level. He's a native Houstonian. In fact, he was an All-American at the University of Houston. It's been a homecoming for Chris. That's strike 2 called by Marty Foster. 94 miles an hour. 4-0 Colorado on the Kadire Grand Slam. Rockies beginning play 10 games south of 500. Houston's lost 4 in a row. They're 22-27. And Snyder absolutely frozen. That was some pitching night there. Big second out because here comes Lucas Harrell, the pitcher. That was enormous.
0-2 count too when he threw the breaking ball. Probably not exactly where he wanted to put this, but it was so nasty Snyder could not pull the trigger on it. Backed off of the velocity, really kept his fingers on top of the ball, and he got a very good bite on the ball. It bent down a little bit because of what to carry, but came right across the middle of this thing. And they got to make sure they make a good play here. And you know, Troy Tulowitzki probably tell him, look, you got speed first and third. If they try to steal second, let them go. You know, we don't need to mess around here and fire a ball into center field, make a poor throw. Let's just get this final out and get out of the inning. It's a 4-0 ball game.
So the pitcher Harrell steps up. Again, 2 outs, sent first and third. Hard on the ground, base hit. And Houston is on the board. It's 4-1. Lucas Harrell with his first career RBI.
Well, he swings the bat a little bit. 167 average coming in, but yet it's a pitcher at the plate. Took advantage, first pitch fastball, hacked away and slid it right by Todd Helton at first base. This ballpark this year has given up an all lot of runs. 12.5. That leads all of Major League Baseball parks. The average 295. On base percentage, slugging percentage. It's almost playing as if it's the old Coors Field again.
And again, when the Rockies have been to the postseason 2 of the last 5 years, their pitching's been vastly improved. Those numbers at Coors Field, still a hitter's haven, but they're down. So part of that graphic, a big part of that graphic, has been the poor starting pitching the Rockies have had the first couple of months of this season. Here's a curveball for strike 1 and 1 on Schaefer.
See, I like that, Drew. Did you see the flinch on Schaefer? Left-handers were hitting 500 against Friedman. 2 home runs against him. That came against with Seattle in this ballpark. Most of that damage is done. But they weren't flinching. That time Schaefer flinched. Tells you he had a little better spin, hit the ball a little bit better. Nasty. See, right over the top, fingers on top, good rotation down. Watch this. See that flinch going back? Thought he was going to get hit with the baseball.
They take that slider again away from him.
Yeah, we'll do 1 of 2 things here. Fastball outside corner. Freeze him up with it at 92-93.
He went slider. Really more of a cutter, isn't it, George? That particular.
Well, you know, it quit on it. It just stayed in the middle of the plate versus having a good bite down and to the left, or to his right, I should say.
2-2.
How about Colorado Springs today? 22-8, a winner at Salt Lake City. Moscoso started and gave up 7 runs. I think he walked away with the win in it. Went 6 innings. All those hitters had a field day up there today. Had an afternoon game at 2:05. By the way, Rex Brothers two straight shutout appearances, covering 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. It didn't walk about it. Things are going better for Rex there also.
Now it's out full on Schaefer, who had a swinging bunt for a hit an inning ago. Here's the 3-2, runners moving. Ball. Nope, it's called a strike. Kind of a delayed call by Marty Foster. Jordan Schaefer not pleased. Brad Mills going to make sure his center fielder sticks around. In the inning, a base hit by Lucas Harrell to drive in a run. It's 4-1, middle of 2. And not the best curveball, but it comes top part of the zone, evidently. Kadire grand slam, and Kadire was also wearing a microphone during batting practice tonight.
That was a good game yesterday for Colorado Springs, huh? 22-7. Colorado Springs. They won 22-8 yesterday.
Actually today, but
it's a W.
It's a W. Well, they split that up and get about 3 W's.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Jordan Pacheco lead things off, batting 8th tonight. Pacheco, 289 overall, hitting .301 since being recalled to the big leagues.
The defense have gotten much better. The offense has become tremendous. The base hit to win game 1 the other day, the doubleheader on Monday. It's just a much more relaxed player. It's the type of player we watched in September a year ago, and a little more conscientious of his strike zone. He has a lot of value in the game of baseball. First, third, and catch. You don't find that combination often.
He's hit 13 of 14. He had an 11-game streak snapped in Cincinnati. Ground ball that Altuve gobbles up.
The Camarena Loft, located in center field, is a great option for your group. It's available up to 95 people. And by the way, Drew, we'll be there Friday night, or is it Saturday night we're going on? Friday night we'll be up in the Camarena bar hanging out. They got rid of the nachos, though.
They did?
Yeah, no more nachos.
We never got them anyhow. Dougie ate
Well,
them.
that's true. He ate 3 batches. And then he said at the 6th inning, I don't feel good. Imagine that.
We are going to get something to eat. We're going to have to order through somebody else, though.
That's fine.
Well, you order through Marino, you don't get it.
I know. Never gets to us. Sam, you going up there with us? Why not?
He's got to stay here. 1-1. That's in there. 1-2 on Friedrich. His camera's too heavy to move that far.
Oh, that's right. Dinger came in and you all had a little party in here, didn't you? You were all dancing, hugging around with Dinger.
There's Sammy. Hiding behind his camera.
Yeah, he never likes to be on camera. That's like a big no-no with him.
We got him.
Not yet.
Friedrich got 2 strikeouts for Lucas Harrell. 2 outs, that'll bring up Fowler.
All of his guys are trying to get him. They can't get him, and they're all laughing about it. Yeah.
Well, George, when you're in the witness protection program.
Totally understand. Totally. It's not the first time.
Deck struck out swinging in the first. This ball is walloped left center field. Time to play chase. Jordan Schaefer gets it before the outfield wall, and that prevents Dexter from another triple. He lashes a 2-out double, and Dexter continues to swing a hot bat. Chevy dare to compare. The Chevy Equinox 32 highway miles per gallon outperforms its competitors. Chevy, made for Colorado. Well, on the road trip through Miami and Cincinnati, he had a home run and 8 at-bats, punched out 4 times. Since he's come home, George, he is 8 for 11.
Is that any good?
That's very good. Scooter will try to pick him up. Strike 1 on Marco, who walked. This is a good sign for the Rockies, not a good sign for Lucas Harrell. He's not getting the ground balls he's accustomed to getting. That is the ground ball to fly ball ratio for Harrell, which is among the best in the game this year. He also has among the lowest strikeout percentages in baseball. That's just not who he is. I mean, he wants the ball in play early in counts.
Most guys
punch guys out.
Most guys that are strikeout guys have high pitch counts. They're typically #1 guys. They're aces on staffs. They work deep into ball games, but they have high pitch counts. They have very high inning counts at the end of the year, well over 200. I've always felt like an out is an out. I don't care, fly ball, ground ball, strikeout, it's an out. Just as long as you don't walk a lot of people.
1 and 2 on Marco. Scutero had his first multi-RBI game in Game 2 on Monday since last September with the Red Sox. Drove in 3 at a bases clearing double. Fouled off his foot. George, coming up, the Daddy of Mall, Cheyenne Frontier Days. Text Cheyenne for your chance to win Brad Paisley tickets. You'll also be entered to win tickets to many of the other concerts during Old Cheyenne, championship bull riding, baseball games, the VIP grand prize drawing. This gets away, and Dexter will slide up to third, then maybe some. You know, the way he eats up ground, the crowd got excited for a moment because Dexter took 3 hard strides toward the plate. So Chris Snyder had to pick the pace up, and Harrell had to come to the plate just in case.
Well, one of the things that Chris Snyder, through his career, a lot of it's because he's such a big guy. I mean, he's 6'4", 230 pounds. He tries to backhand a lot of these baseballs versus sliding out with the body. So we've seen this over the course of time, particularly on the slider, the 3/4 curve working away, that it'll hit on the heel of the glove and it's going to pay off. This wild pitch in the dirt that got by Snyder is going to get a run back for the Rockies with Dexter Fowler. Quite honestly, Drew, I think he would have scored anyway.
Yeah.
He was second or third either way.
So Scutero with his 8th RBI. And the Rockies have a 5-1 lead on Lucas Farrell, who shut them out back in early April in Houston for 7 innings.
And here's that sinker. See that sinker rotation biting down on it? And tell you what, Scudero did a good job because all he did was just take the ball back up the middle. Sinker ballers, we want you to pull the baseball. That's what you try to get them to do as a batter. And he did a good job just taking it right back up the middle.
And Scudero takes off, and he's in there with a stolen base. He's out there for cargo now. That's the 5th bag for the 36-year-old Marco Scudero.
Well, obviously a very aggressive team. They feel like they could steal on Harold and Snyder. They did just that. You see that feet first slide. I like that. Coming right into the back, tagged on the back of the thigh. Snyder now 5 of 21. Would-be Steelers have been able to steal a base on him. So his success rate right at about the National League average, just a little bit above.
Cargo line single on a 3-0 pitch to center field his first time, hitting .390 with runners in scoring position. 3rd best mark in the National League. Helton's 5th, Kadyr's 6th on that list, by the way. 1-1 is in there. It's 1-2. That's an interesting reaction from Cargo.
Well, anytime you dive as a left-hander and you got a right-handed sinker baller up there and you dive a little bit and they throw it right at you and then that ball runs back, you have a tendency to think it's going to get you. So your reactions stop immediately on the baseball.
And to back out on him. Nope. 1-2. Cargo stays in there. Here's the graphic to illustrate what we were talking about. Gonzalez 3rd with a .390 average with runners in scoring position. Scudero's out there now. And he strikes him out with an off-speed pitch. Rockies add another 2-out run. They have 5 of them tonight. 5-1 they lead. Broadband viewers from Falcon, Colorado, we know you love the Rockies out there. Check out these photos of the Falcon broadband staff sporting their Rockies Root Sports gear. Falcon's about 14 miles northeast of the Springs, and there's a lot of beautiful things to check out in the area. Garden of the Gods right there, Pikes Peak, of course the Air Force Academy. Thank you again to Falcon broadband subscribers for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. I was just down in that area about a week ago. It is beautiful.
Were you rock climbing?
I was watching
baseball?
The boys play baseball.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Jose Altuve with a 1-0 count. Bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. That's in there from Christian Friedrich. 5-1 Colorado with George Frazier and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Man, it's just ideal out.
Beautiful, beautiful. The fans responding to that 2 wins. Nice crowd here at the ballpark.
Inside, 2-1. Rockies with 4 hits. The Astros with 4 hits.
We just had one go a lot farther than everybody else's.
With the right amount of people on base. Off the plate, 3-1. Michael Kadire, a grand slam, his 7th of his career, 2nd this year. Back in the first inning. Three and 2. I was talking to Jim Deshaies, George, our colleague on the
Pitched for the Astros a long time. Big left-hander.
Yeah, outstanding pitcher. And we're talking about Altuve, and this kid's a keeper, and I don't think anybody would even say anything about him other than he preys on him if he wasn't. Look at that. If he wasn't 5'6".
Well, what you like about him, he's obviously a low ball hitter, but he handles the bat. I mean, it's all about timing and what he's done. But every single stop he's had, I mean, rookie ball, A ball, his free agent sign out of the Dominican Republic. This guy has hit, and last year he earned that opportunity to get to the big leagues and hit. And guess what, folks? He hit, much like he is right now, to the 304 clip prior to that at bat.
And he can run a little bit too. 9 of 10 in stolen bases. Last year, when he got called to the big leagues, he was hitting in the neighborhood of 400.
You keep kicking on a door when you're hitting 400, 360. You keep making all the plays in the field. A great attitude. You'll get your chance.
He ended up last year, George. He was their minor league player of the year. He hit 389 in 357 at bats.
What did he hit in the big leagues when he came up too? It was around 280, 290 mark.
Yeah, just under 280, 276. And
if he makes all the plays in the field, you know, and you hit 280, 290, you steal some bases, you do all the right things, it's perfect.
He just turned 22 3 weeks ago.
Really good player.
Jed Lowry came in the Mark Melancon deal. Melancon went to the Red Sox to close games, and he struggled. Mark's a Colorado. Lowry, a Stanford product. 3-0. Don't create traffic.
Yeah, that's what you can't do at Coors Field, and that's been the biggest thing. You know, when you look at those numbers we showed you earlier about, you know, leading as far as average at 295, runs at 12.5, those are big numbers. But a lot of it is when it was really good, when this park was like number 8 in baseball relinquishing runs, the pitching was better. They threw strikes. They didn't walk people. You know, Bob Apodaca, you know, he's pulling his hair out right now. Throw the ball over the plate. Trust your stuff. Young kids, it's difficult to teach them that at this level. I think every young pitcher that comes to the big leagues, you think you've got to do something different when you get here, and you don't.
Now they're 2 on. You're in the middle of that lineup. Nobody out. You have a 4-run lead, and here comes Apodaca.
Man, it's kind of what happened the other day, you know, with the Rockies. They worked their way in the middle of that lineup, boy, and I tell you what, they just cut loose.
Rockies fans, take your heart for a walk this weekend. Save lives by joining the American Heart Association at the Denver Heart and Stroke Walk. It's this Saturday. For more information and to sign up, visit denverheartwalk.org. denverheartwalk.org. Rockies up 5-1 as the Astros hit the top of the third. A base hit by Altuve, a walk to Lowry on 4 pitches. And that'll bring up Carlos Lee, who bounced to third his first time up. To give you an idea of how much the Rockies have struggled with their starting pitching, when they have a lead after 1 inning, generally a good sign. Good teams are going to be well above 500 when they get off to a quick start. The Rockies are 6-8
Yeah, that's surprising a little bit, not being able to hold the lead. But then again, that's the failure of a lot of the young players here.
Off the end of the bat, and Cargo grabs the baseball on his throw. He's saved by Scudero. 1 out.
Well, that's the inability of some of these young pitchers to hold leads, not to make a play the way you should. And I think that is a direct result in the failure sometimes of that record you just mentioned, 6 and 8.
George, we were talking about that game in Colorado Springs. Michael Kadire was talking about it. Sky Sox 22 runs today in Salt Lake City. 27 hits, no home runs. Chris Nelson 3 for 6. He's on the mend. Matt McBride 4 for 6. He came in that Indians trade.
Kind of the toss in guy.
Exactly. Yet he's hitting .359
well,
with a slew of doubles, 4 home runs.
He missed the last 7 games prior to that. And I think yesterday was the first day he played, and then today the second game due to a little wrist soreness. So they gave him some time off and came back obviously in a great big way today.
0-1 on J.D. Martinez, and this is fisted to Helton. It gets over his head. And everybody will move up 90 feet. Bases loaded for Justin Maxwell. Good pitch, bad result. Coming up in inning number 6, we do it every night. Toyota Talk. Text Toyota followed by a space. Your comments to 720-720.
Well, one of the big struggles, and it has been a struggle for this Astro club. Bases loaded. 143 on the year so far.
Whatever pitch that was that Maxwell hit 6 miles on Monday, don't throw it to him here.
That's exactly right. Middle half fastball in. He cannot handle. And that's got to have been the knock, the ball away from him. But if you get it down in this area here, look out.
Curveball, 1-1. Maxwell hasn't hit well on the road either. 3 for 31. Bases full of Astros. 5-1 Rockies lead. There's 1 out in the 3rd. On the ground through the left side, base hit. 1 run is scored, and Lowry gets a stop sign from Dave Clark. It's 5-2, and that's the 7th hit allowed by Christian Friedrich with 1 out in the 3rd. Chris Johnson with plenty of pop is coming up.
Let's look and see where this pitch was to Maxwell. They're trying to go to the outer half, freezing the pitch. See, they're wanting that ball right out on the outer half. He hit it there. But this kid's got a lot of strength, and he's just able to shoot this. You see Pacheco playing pull about 2 feet off of the line because that's where all the spray charts tell you where Maxwell hits the baseball. Defensively, they were set correctly. He just countered it.
Johnson fouls off the breaking ball. It's 0-1.
He's one of the few guys on their ball club that have a decent average with bases loaded, 286.
Been their everyday guy at 3rd. He started all but 6 ball games at 3rd. This is the 50th game of the year for Houston. This ball lined to left. Cargo is there trying to set the throw. Here comes Lowry, and it works as a sac fly, and it's 5-3. .25 RBIs for Chris Johnson. That was a difficult ball to try to set your feet on if you're Carlos Gonzalez. It was a line shot. He was above his hat, slightly to his right.
Just to give you time to get back, circle the baseball, get it out in front of him because it was hit so hard, and it's a difficult pitch because it's kind of baseball. We call them those kind of like a well-back liner. I mean, it's coming at you with some heavy-duty topspin. Home plate umpire Marty Foster says that he did not leave too early, and the run does count. Jed Lowry.
And you noticed what Eric Cooper, I think you were able to notice what Eric Cooper, the third base umpire, did. He pointed Tulowitzki on the appeal play, looked to the third base umpire Cooper, and Cooper pointed to the home plate umpire Marty Foster. It's his call because Cooper's looking to make sure the catch is made in left field. And Foster then is looking to see if he leaves early, and then of course he has to play at the plate if there is one.
I mean, watch a lot of the rotation here. They're going to go out and sit and watch. Caught the baseball, did not leave early. You see that pretty clearly. There's the home plate umpire, Marty Foster, waiting to see if a play would be made at the plate.
1-0 on Snyder. And you have the luxury of the pitcher behind him, but it didn't work out that way last inning when Lucas Harrell punched a base hit through the right side. You really like to take care of Snyder and not put two in scoring position. It's that fine line, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, and again, you're struggling to throw some strikes right now. 52 pitches, 30 of those for strikes. So, I mean, you know, that's the other thing. You're fighting a little bit with yourself now. If you put a guy on, they're going to send Harold up, say, even though last time he didn't, you got to tell him to take, and he fall behind and counts, more pressure. 2 outs. Go right at it. Get this thing out of here. You're on a 3-0 count right now. Get back in the dugout.
Tell you what, I don't know why this popped into my head, George, but it would never happen here in the regular season. But if this were the postseason, as much as Harrell has scuffled here in the early going, you made pinch hit in the postseason in the 3rd inning, try to take advantage and just go bullpen the rest of the way. You're not really worried about preserving your starting pitcher in the postseason if he scuffled.
Well, unfortunately, we're in May.
We are in May. But I just threw it out there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, and sometimes, you know what? You don't want a young kid's feelings to get hurt either. You know, a lot of times you'll jerk him out of a ball game. You don't want him to get beat up and get abused. But the walks are what cost him early in that 1st inning, and then the big blast by Kadire.
3-2 on Snyder. And it is lined down the left field line by Snyder. Martinez will score. Maxwell is going to score. And this game is all tied. The Rockies have squandered a 4-run lead. And that was the danger. I wasn't sure they'd come fastball there, 3-2, but they did.
I'm a little surprised by, just like you are. I'm a little surprised with the catcher up, pitcher on deck, fastball, and a pretty good low ball hitter. Not that bad a pitch from Friedrich. It was down and away from Snyder, but he's a guy that wants to extend his arms a little bit, cheating on the fastball, and he cheated it into the corner. And then basically emptied the bases. 12 hits, 10 runs in this ball game. It's the top of the 3rd.
Baseball, maybe more than any other sport, is the ultimate Monday morning quarterback type of deal. Did he shake to that fastball, or was it called by Rosario? And Rosario, the catchers will do this, try to get in the head of the hitter. Watch Rosario. He wants him to shake. This is going back to Snyder.
Shake. Try to think something different's coming in a zone, but that ball right out over the middle of the plate.
Friedrich strikes out Harrell, but 4 runs allowed by Christian Friedrich as 8 come to bat, and a 4-run lead is squandered. 5-5, middle of 3.
tied it up at 5 as we go bottom 3. Troy Tulowitzki about to lead off. This is the 10th time that Troy has gone against Houston here at home since 2010. I want you to take a look at his numbers. This is updated from his fielder's choice earlier in the game. Still hitting 400, 8 runs, 8 RBIs, 5 extra base hits. You see the on-base percentage. The team is 6-3 in those 9 games. Let's hope they make it 7-3 with a victory tonight. Drew, George?
All right, Mark, thank you. So the Rockies will have to restart the engine with Tulowitzki against Lucas Harrell. Up 4-0 and 5-1. It is now 5-5. This is starting to shape up like the 2 ball games we saw on Monday.
Slugfest is on, folks. Just buckle up and watch the guys swing the bat a little bit.
Outside, 2-0 on Tulowitzki.
And that will drive a manager and a veteran catcher crazy. Just put a 4 spot on the board. We just tied this thing up. Let's get aggressive. Let's get right after it. I mean, Brad Mills, you know, is basically managing this ball club and trying to show a new general manager and Jeff Luhnow, a new owner in Crane that deserves extension, deserves the opportunity to, after I've been through that rough patch of not being very good. We have young kids. You've got to be aggressive in that zone. We'll get your tickets now to see the Rockies take on the divisional rival Dodgers June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd here at Coors Field this weekend.
Troy pulls it down the line. Fair ball. Extra bases for Tulowitzki. Martinez will pluck it out of the corner, and it's a leadoff double for Troy.
Sinker ball guy on the mound, and what they're trying to do defensively is take away that double down the line. Look how close Johnson's playing there. This ball scorched right over the top of the bag. It gets down into that left field corner. I mean, he's 1-step dive. Look how far in foul territory he is. They're definitely playing to pull. That ball was hit so hard he couldn't make a play on the baseball. Todd with a chance to drive one in, and boy, has his average been good with runners in scoring position this year.
And it's a bouncer to short. Lowry thought about getting Tulowitzki. That was a good read. Softly hit ball or a ball behind you. When taking your lead at second base, you cross over.
Well, it's great as long as you don't hesitate. You got to go. When that ball was hit, you just got to move quickly, and that's exactly what Troy did. And once you hesitate, you're giving a shortstop an opportunity. The look by Lowry allowed because of help speed, not what it once was, obviously.
So here's Kadire, who drove in 4 with 1 swing of the bat in the first inning. Chance to give the Rockies another lead. 32 ribbies for Michael Kadire. He's on pace to drive in 100. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Kadire in the first inning with the bases juiced. First pitch he got from Harrell. He's sent out to right field. Second slam of the year, number 7 in his career. Here's the 1-1 and a comebacker, and now the Rockies will need a 2-out hit. Rosario stepping up.
Well, Monday's ball game in game 1, he went deep. The baby bull got one he could drive out over the plate, and he sent it into the seats in left field.
Ball 1. And this is a looper that's going to be an easy play for Carlos Lee. Rockies waste the leadoff double by Tulowitzki. We'll go to the fourth. Colorado 5, Houston 5. Compromise Ford Mustang. Go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Colorado Hyundai dealers and America's most fuel-efficient car company, Hyundai.
Margo, let me see those lenses. See, I like these better.
Yeah, I like clears. I don't like dark.
Too dark for you?
I like clears.
Yeah, these are good.
You can still protect from the sun. You can see.
But you still see, it's not altered. I think I'm gonna hit with my glasses on Saturday.
Got to have the right shades, George.
I guess. I never understood guys catching behind the plate with glasses on. I've never understood hitters hitting with glasses on. So it illuminates the ball, makes it better for people. I didn't have to hit with it.
Well, Kadyr's talking about Saturday because it's a day game, yeah. Ground ball to short. Tulowitzki comes and gets it on the move. Will throw out Jordan Schaefer. With one out, that'll bring up Altuve. He started the rally in the third inning with a sharp single right back through the box. Christian Friedrich just did get out of the way.
The ones that crack me up is the ones that wear them on top of their hats in the night game. I just have a hard problem with that.
All show, huh? Strike one on Altuve. You know what I love about guys like Altuve, George? It took some guts for a scout in Latin America to go out and sign this guy and say, you know what, I like him. Because it's easy when Matt Holliday is running around the field, who's 6'4", 240, say, I like that guy. I'm going to put him in with a nice grade on it. It's harder when you don't stand 6'4" and weigh 240 and look necessarily great in the uniform. Not that he looks bad in the uniform, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there like him that had to battle their way through some things and prove to everybody that he could play. And okay, mastered that level. Let's give him a shot at the next one.
Look at this. He lines it down the right field line. He can just flat out rake. And he can run a little bit. He's thinking about three, and then he'll stop at second. Altuve with his 21st multi-hit game this year. It's second in the league to San Francisco's Melky Cabrera. He can just hit. Altuve, a one-out double. Jed Lowry coming up. A reminder that earlier today, Jamie Moyer was designated for assignment. So he finishes his brief Rockies career with a 2-5 record. He becomes the oldest pitcher in big league history to win a game. Carlos Torres, who was up on Monday, was brought back from AAA. So Torres with the Rockies. Jamie Moyer, very classy in his press conference after, saying, "I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. I appreciate the opportunity the Rockies have given me." He still would like to pitch. For the time being, he's going to go home. One of the things he's going to do is see one of his kids graduate. In the air to right field. And Kadire has it. 2 outs. With Carlos Lee coming up, time for our AT&T trivia question. Who is the oldest player in the big leagues now that Jamie Moyer has been designated for assignment? It's not Altuve, George. You're wrong.
No, I was thinking maybe, well, I'm not going to say because I think I know who it is.
No, Caballo. He's been around this game for a while. And a line drive center field right at Dexter Fowler. So Altuve is left at second. The Rockies 5 and the Astros 5.
Take a look at the road ahead, powered by your Colorado Hyundai dealer. Step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America, Hyundai. Tomorrow, we'll be on the air at 6 p.m. with pregame show. The Rockies conclude this series with the Astros, and then Matt Kemp and the Dodgers come to town. That's right, Matt Kemp and the Dodgers, because he just came off the DL yesterday, 1 for 4 in his return this season. Save responsibly when you shop at your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Check it out at coloradohyundai.com. Jordan Pacheco grounded second his first time up. Pacheco, Friedrich, Fowler in a 5-5 game in the 4th. 2-strike count. Lucas Harrell gave up 4 in the first on the Kadire grand slam. He gave up a run in the second. Rockies didn't score last inning despite a leadoff double by Tulowitzki. Pacheco has struck out, George, just 8 times in 84 at bats.
Do you remember the conversation with Jimmy Johnson last year in spring training when he just first came? He said he's one of the few guys in the minor leagues that has walked more than he's struck out. He's going to put the ball in play a lot. Great hand-eye coordination. And again, you know, it's where a guy that you just mentioned it walked or struck out very few times. It tells you if you're Jim Tracy, you can do a lot of different things with it.
Take a look at tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Harrell 95, Friedrich 94. 9 hits for the Stros, 5 runs, 5 hits for the Rockettes. Two-two, and a ground ball to short. Lowry showed plenty of arm strength. One out, Friedrich at the plate. One and one on Christian. Here's a 2-1 outside. It's 3-1. Friedrich with the new shape to the body, 6'4", 215 pounds, out of Eastern Kentucky. And he just drew a walk. Pitchers always hang around for an extra second. Is it to say, did I really walk?
Which way do I run now?
Yeah. Head to the right. So
when you get there,
Dexter.
turn left. And every other little white square you see there, keep turning left.
Keep turning left till they tell you to stop. Fowler roped a double to left center his last time up. Three walks allowed by Lucas Harrell. He's identifying pitch as well now. That usually goes hand in hand with a hot streak. This is Dexter's 224th game leading off. And he's hit 270 in that spot with a 363 on base percentage. If you told Jim Tracy right now that's what you're going to get for the rest of the year, 270 and a 363 on base percentage, he said, yep, sign me up.
Yep. And Monday was the first day he had hit in the leadoff spot all year. Had not been there at all and responded 7 for 9 in both games.
This is to Schaefer in center field. 2 outs. That'll bring up Marco Scutaro. George, you were wondering what Michael Kadaya did on his day off. Well, here's your answer.
Hung out with the family.
To a pool or anything?
Nah, we just hung out. Went out to lunch. About 6 o'clock, went and walked around the park. That's right across our street.
Had dessert. High school. That one in Sky.
Yeah, I did have dessert.
Drop kick.
Gotta have dessert on your off day, don't you?
I thought you mandatory you had it every day.
I know. I've known you for almost a quarter century. You don't miss a day.
Yeah, I thought it was mandatory, wasn't it?
Yes. Scutaro tried to, there's a good place to go for dessert. Scutaro tried to bunt his way on, 0-1, and now it's 0-2. Marco walk and a base hit, drove in a run his last time up. Strike 3. Scutaro caught looking. Friedrich left at first. 5-5. We move on to inning number 5. The fifth inning, as we do on most Wednesday nights. Jim Tracy kind enough to join us from the dugout. Skip, you get off to the fast start. Michael Kadyr's been he's been very, very clutch, hasn't he?
He really has, Drew, and took another big at bat for us. You know, in the first inning to start the game. I think we've been in this position a number of times, and I think you know the inning where they got the 4 to get back in the game. I believe the third inning. Or what was it, the second inning? The point being, you know, he pitched behind in the count. Christian did, you know what I mean, not throwing enough strikes early. And you can see the difference in relation to the other innings he's pitched where he gets ahead, he gets strike one in there, and the whole at-bat changes. And that's the thing that we have to continue to work on and get a lot better at, because these leads we build early, we're giving ourselves a chance to take teams out of the game real early, but we're letting them back in too many times.
Yeah, we have seen that too many times. Trace, good luck the rest of the way.
All right, Drew.
So here we go, fifth inning. And Christian Friedrich with a breaking ball, strike one on J.D. Martinez. Martinez 2 for 2 in the game. That looked like a swing from here, and it looked like a swing from there, according to Tim Timmons.
Well, we always talk about the line, first base line. Did he break through it, offer to swing at it? You bet.
Slider in 1-2. J.D. Martinez at the plate, a 24-year-old, native of Miami. Went to Nova Southeastern University. And this is going to be a problem. He's 3 for 3. Not bad for a guy, George, that was a 20th round pick and cruised through the minor leagues to the tune of a 342 average.
But again, had to prove to everybody, guess what? I can play the game. Give me the chance. Give me the chance. And he finally gets it.
Justin Maxwell reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the second, singled in a run, and would score in the third. Hook in there, and it's 0-1. This Astro club, let's look at that curveball again. This he got on top of.
Way on top of it. Great rotation. See that arm extension there by Rosario? That's what got that call to strike. A lot of catchers sometimes would pancake the glove, turn it over, catch it with the backside of the glove facing the ground. That wouldn't get called to strike if it was.
Went back to it and missed. 1-1. Has been very good at Minute Maid and miserable out on the road. They have just 6 wins on the road. One of the poorest marks in baseball. Brad Mills in his third year endured a 106 loss season last year. They are vastly improved, though. Pitching a lot better. And scoring more runs. One and two. Stature-wise, this kid reminds you a little bit of Giancarlo Stanton in Miami. That's a strikeout. One out, and that'll bring up Chris Johnson. Let's answer the AT&T trivia question. Jamie Moyer again designated for assignment earlier this afternoon if you're just joining us. So now who's the oldest player in the big leagues? Omar Vizquel.
Oldest guy in the National League.
Who do you have?
I'm asking Doug. Is it Giambi? He's scratching his chin really hard and grinning like I don't know.
When Omar shuts it down, George, he's going to go 5 years later to the Hall of Fame.
And I honestly think maybe as a manager at the big league level too. I think he'll manage if he wants to. I think he could really do a good job doing it.
1-1 on Chris Johnson, a single and a sac fly. Pitch count at 78 for Friedrich. Rockies led 4-0 and 5-1. And this ball toward the gap in right center, cut off by Dexter. There's been 3 plays tonight in the ball game, George, in right center and left center field, where if you don't have the great speed and range that Fowler possesses, you're talking about triples instead of singles and RBIs instead of just a first and third deal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, this is a guy that gets as good a break on a baseball as anybody. And that's what allows him with those long strides to get there.
It's 11 hits allowed. A third, man, that's a boatload. What do you see, George? Because the stuff is there. We're talking about downhill playing, good velocity, overhand curveball, a decent slider. Why 11 hits?
You're telling me you just described Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really. And you think, you know, that you get too much of the plate? Are you getting into patterns with what you're throwing? I mean, those are the secondary things you look at as a pitching coach. Am I getting in a pattern of location? You know, am I going to the curveball too many times ahead in the count, behind an account? I mean, those are patterns that hitting coaches sit and watch to see what the results are. He's in a great spot right now, 0-2 again on Snyder.
With the pitcher on deck. And he gets a strikeout. That's number 5 for Friedrich, and that'll bring up Harrell. 2 outs.
So again, it's in the placement of this pitch of where it is. Remember what he hit before in a 3-2 pitch fastball? It was out over the plate. Here he's ahead in the count, though. Just what Jim's talking about at the break. Working ahead in the count versus behind in the count.
Harrell an RBI single and a strikeout. And Lucas gets a curveball. Put that in his mind. He got a fastball out over the plate that he kind of punched to right field on the ground for a base hit. That was in the 2nd inning. It's his first career RBI. First and third. Martinez at third. Chris Johnson at first. One on Lucas Harrell. One and two. It's been a very productive night for both clubs with 2 outs. All 5 runs for the Rockies have come with 2 outs. 1 and 2 on Harrell. Curveball, and he strikes him out. He ends up striking out the side, and Friedrich strands runners on the corners. 5-5 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Rockies and Astros tied at 5. 3, 4, and 5 for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Cargo, Tulowitzki, and Helton to face Lucas Harrell, who gave up a grand slam in the first to Michael Kadire and a run-scoring single by Marco Scutaro in the second after a double by Dexter. Cargo's 1 for 2 in the game.
You know, we talked earlier about the Sky Sox score, 22-8. How about down in Texas tonight? 17-3 Seattle. It's in the 6th.
Usually takes Seattle about a week, George, to score 17 runs.
Oh my gosh. The oldest player in the National League, by the way, Saito, who's on the 40-man roster but the DL with the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's 42. Blake Bevan was the starter for Seattle tonight, benefited of the 17 runs.
Oh, more so, who was the starter for Texas?
We don't want to know.
1-1.
It wasn't Roy Oswald, who signed a contract with them today. He'll have his first rehab start in Round Rock on Saturday.
Yeah, he's going to need a couple, 3 weeks to get ready.
Holland started the ball game, inning at 2/3, 8 hits, 8 runs, all earned.
This ball hit well to center field, and it is gone. Rockies take the lead back. Number 11 for Cargo. That did not stay airborne long.
And talk about all the excitement Dexter brings around. This young man right here is throwing out some numbers that are scary. Elevated fastball up, starting to sink as it got to the plate. Cargo wanted to know if you had any laundry you needed to hang out, because that was on a frozen rope.
He is fun to watch. Tulowitzki with the Rockies up 6-5. Outside on Troy, ball 1.
Such long arms. That's what you love about this long swing. You try to work him off the plate. If you throw it in the strike zone off the plate, pretty good chance that's going to happen to you.
You know what else you like about this ball? A bouncer to third. Johnson with time, 1 out. Cargo has a penchant, George, for hitting big home runs, getting big hits. Of his 11 home runs, 3 have tied the game, 4 have put the Rockies ahead.
Big hits, big numbers.
Rockies outfield with Kadire and Cargo and Dexter as productive an outfield as there is in the National League. Helton takes a strike.
Tulsa shut out tonight 4-0. Frazier takes the loss. He's 2-6 now, but 3 earned runs out of the 7, only 4 hits given up in 7 innings of work.
Well, they're pitching well, George. They're not scoring a lot of runs right now in Tulsa.
They got beat the other day 2-1 on a wild pitch when they got 2 hits in the game to get the 1 run on the board. They have not hit since the month of April when they went 18-6 and set a franchise record. Since then, they've had a little tailspin as far as swinging the bat. And it's been a difficult time for them to be able to turn that corner swinging the bat. They've got a couple of guys still hovering around the 300 mark. Nolan Arenado, the prize prospect, 0 for 4 tonight. Kyle Rowling, through Grant Junction, where folks live. Kyle 2 for 4 tonight. His average at 257 though. So a lot of guys 280, 211, 290, 288. I mean, there's not many of those guys taking off with the bat like you had anticipated.
But still pretty solid. I mean, Rutledge is in that 280 plus group.
Well, there's still 3 games out in front. That's the crazy part about it. Northwest has not done well either.
And we also know that Texas League, as the temperature heats up, the runs
start to happen.
Start to heat up as well. Will you make it home safe? Don't get called out with a seatbelt ticket. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time, so double your chance of surviving a crash and avoid a $65 fine. Helton pulls it toward the hole, a base hit for Todd. So So with one out, Kadire will come up. Rockies ahead on the Cargo home run. 6-5. Rod's got a quiet 6-game hitting streak going. Kadire a slam in the first. Hit a comebacker in the third inning with a runner at third base and one out. Takes a strike. Two of Kadire's 6 home runs this year against the Astros. George Carlos is on pace to hit in the mid-30s in home runs and be in that 120 RBI area. Good turn by Lowry and Altuve. 6-4-3. Rockies move ahead 6-5 on Gonzalez's 11th home run of the year.
Brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. By Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And by CDOT. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time. Don't risk a $65 fine. Take 2 seconds to buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. Our beautiful city of Denver, Coors Field, located at 20th and Blake Streets. Friedrich with a 6-5 lead. And in the 6th inning, again, it's the leadoff man, Jordan Schaefer, who is 1 for 3 tonight. He takes ball 1. Schaefer pops it up.
Dexter see it, got both hands
I can't
out.
tell if he can see it. No,
yeah,
he couldn't. Tulowitzki fortunately did. That sky at dusk, George. It's kind of a light cloud layer, and the still the deep blue sky, and the baseball, especially once it's rubbed down, kind of blends right in.
Look, Dexter, both hands out. Some people would indicate or think that I'm saying I got it, and he's saying I don't have anything. I can't see it. Where are all you other guys at? Thanks, Tulo.
And it is a sick feeling.
Yeah. I know you know it's out coming out here. It's not going to hit me in the head, is it? Nope. You're about 45 feet away.
Now here comes the toughest out right now in the lineup, Jose Altuve. He's got a single and a double tonight, 3 trips.
Off the end of the bat, cued to first. Helped with the option pitch to Friedrich. Seen that before, haven't we? 2 outs.
Well, one thing Jim talked an awful lot about Christian Friedrich. Work ahead, good things happen. Well, here he is working ahead. Some pretty good things happening. Perfect lead, perfect flip from the Gold Glover.
Jed Lowry 0 for 2 and a walk. Lowry had a storybook career at Stanford. Twice an All-American. As a sophomore, he won the Pac-10 Triple Crown. Hit .399, 17 home runs, and 68 RBIs. Supplemental first-round pick by the Red Sox in 2005. One and two. Houston's system was bereft of talent for a while. They're starting to build it back up.
Through the trades. Baltimore, the trades with Philadelphia, where they've been able to get guys. Atlanta, Boston. They've changed hands there at the minor league level. Fred Nelson, who had worked in player development with the organization years and years ago, has been put back in that capacity by Jeff Luhnow. Has been running it for a couple of years now. Starting to see a turnaround in ball clubs. Oklahoma City very competitive under Bert Hooten's the pitching coach there. The Double-A ball club's doing well at Corpus, and Lancaster's in the hunt in the Cal League for the first time in years, and that's one of the worst places to play baseball in America. It's Lancaster, California. Elevation, wind blowing out every single night.
You got a kid, Jonathan Singleton. He came in the Hunter Pence deal, George, from Philadelphia. He's their top prospect. He's on that Double-A team you were mentioning. 3-2. Left-handed bat.
And they got another guy, George Springer, playing center field for the Lancaster ball club. That's he's hitting about 330, 340 right now. Tried to replenish the organization at arms.
3-2 in the air to center field. Fowler's there, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Christian Friedrich. Harrell still doesn't have one of those. 6-5 Colorado.
just talking about Houston and some of the draft picks they had. Well, the baseball draft is happening this Monday, and the Astros have the #1 pick, the top pick. In their history, they've been in that situation 2 times. Once in 1976, they picked Floyd Bannister out of Arizona State, and then in 1992, they picked Phil Nevin. They eventually traded both those guys. George, you were picked in 1976 as well. Do you remember that draft and knowing that Floyd Bannister was going to be #1 overall?
Well, I did. I mean, we played against Arizona. Hold on here a minute, Mark. We might have a double out of it. We will. Rosario poked it into right. Confusion by the outfielders. And Rosario has a hustle double. A little bit of a boot by the baseball. I think it was more on Maxwell than it was Schaefer. Well, talking about Floyd Bannister, I did. And the reason why, Mark, is because he went to Arizona State. We played against Arizona State 2 years in a row when I was at the University of Oklahoma. A very talented guy. Really, really talented pitcher. As a matter of fact, Christian Friedrich reminds me a lot of his actions of Floyd Bannister and the way he threw the baseball. Went on to a terrific career with the White Sox for a number of years. Floyd, very accomplished player.
Boy, I love the way Willian's playing, George, and the word's going to get out. Don't nap on this kid. He can run.
He can run, and I think that you're exactly right. You better stay on top of your toes. He'll take the extra base as he did here.
Great teaching point, because that's a single off the bat, but he comes tearing around the base, saying you got to field it into a single. They did not, and he ends up with a leg double. That's how it scored. Pacheco at the plate. He's been in a ditch 0-2 in each of his last couple of at bats. I don't know if he's not picking up the ball against Harrell, or Harrell's just been painting against him.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing for Willian, not to make an excuse for his offense, because he has struck out a lot. He doesn't hit for a high average. He does have the home runs. He hustles, plays the game right. But he also has all the responsibility heaped on his shoulders of running this pitching staff. And it's a young pitching staff till you get into that 8th and 9th inning. So he's trying to master the pitching staff. He's trying to master what the opposition swings and misses at. I mean, it's got a lot on his shoulders. They're trying to help him through it as much as they can. This is what Drew's talking about. Come out of the box, base hit, turn it up a notch, take your wide turn hard, then you've got that momentum where you can go on into second base. It's not a stop and start type situation.
And he's got some fire to him. And I love that in any player, but particularly the guy that plays behind the plate.
Well,
eight guys are watching you when you're on defense.
You have to have that behind the plate. Total charge. I tell
Back
guys,
up the middle and on through, base hit. Rosario around third. And Schaefer's throw to the plate. It's going to be cut off. Pacheco comes through again. His 10th ribby, and the Rockies have a 2-run lead. Getting a pound on the helmet, several of them from Glenn Allen Hill.
And he should. And I'm hungry.
Yeah, we've got tacos. 7 runs on the board for the Rockies. Make your way to Taco Bell tomorrow in the state between 4 and 6 for your Rockies taco special. He just has a really good feel, George. He doesn't panic. He's
look at his face. I mean, he looks like he's so calm. He doesn't get excited about nothing.
He can hit with 2 strikes, which
Short
not
steps.
a lot of guys can do.
Hey, not much lower body movement at all. It's all a hand swing right up the middle. I'm not going to get my head off center. I'm going to keep everything going where it needs to. There's the Rosario's throw and hustle. They'll show a little bit of that fire with the fist pump.
By the way, Eric Young's going to pinch hit here for Friedrich, as the Rockies got 6 innings out of Christian.
And you know what, Friedrich, he could have crumbled. When he gave up 4 in the 3rd, he didn't do that. He went out through 3 shutout innings. The Rockies have been able to put a couple on the board, expanded a little bit, 7-5. Now you can go to your 7th, 8th, and 9th inning work. And if they do their jobs, you win this baseball game.
They changed that Rosario double to a single and an error on Maxwell, the right fielder. It's the right play because he hesitated for a second talking about Rosario. He was going to shut it down at first. When he saw the bobble, he moved up. So it's got to be a single and an error. Eric Young takes that pitch down. It's 1-0. Guarding against the bunt is Chris Johnson. And Eric Young, as he eyeballs Richie Dower, will also glance at Johnson because he has the ability to push it past the third baseman. You have the shortstop deep. Runner going, and the hit and run was on. Bad throw, shortstop side of the bag. And a stolen base for Pacheco.
First one of the year for Pacheco. The other day I noticed this with their middle infield. And it cost him a ball game with this exact middle infield here. Altuve didn't get over to the bag on a double play. The ball ricocheted off Guthrie and it took off. And this ball's over onto the other side. Took his head off the ball. I mean, he thought he had it picked right into the back of the glove and then he was going to make the tag. So he looked to see where Pacheco was.
First bag of Pacheco's career, and boy, Eli took a hack there like it was a hit and run, which it was not.
Wasn't pretty. Just kind of a quick slap hack at it. With 2 strikes, stay alive, get a ball, maybe he can drive and get this run across.
It was a 1-1 count. Now it's 1-2. Nobody out here in the 6th. Ground ball left side on through, base hit. Pacheco will stop at third. That's a nice piece of hitting there from Eric Young. The Rockies in double digits in hits. And how long does Brad Mills go? Well, there's your answer.
Not very long.
Not going any longer. So the former Colorado Springs manager will go and get Lucas Harrell. Georgie, a different result for the Rockies this time against Harrell than when they saw him down in Houston.
Yes, it is.
Rockies with runners at first and third, nobody out, leading by a pair of runs when we come back. Fowler the other night pulling that triple down the right field line in the 10th inning. Michael Kadire came all the way around for the game winner. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Christian Friedrich a chance to get a W. Gives up 5 runs on 11 hits, but the Rockies keep adding on. 7-5 they lead. Reiner Cruz, the Rule 5 selection out of the Mets organization, pitched an inning on Monday. He's aboard here, and he inherits a first and third situation. Nobody gone, and Dexter Fowler's at the plate.
Well, this looks like, you know, one of those guys going to come in when you're down a couple of runs. He's got a big arm, low 3/4 approach to the plate with his arm angle. 225 earned run average, 16 innings, 12 strikeouts. You are going to get some walks, 8. We'll keep the ball typically in the ballpark. He's inherited 5, only 1 has scored. He'll get Dexter Fowler, the left-handed hitting Dexter Fowler, with nobody out in first and third, and the Rockies leading 7-5.
Dexter a double in 3 trips tonight. And this ball is crushed to right center field, and it is gone. Another jack for Dexter. His 8th of the year. All that weight room work paid off. And the Rockies have busted this thing open again. They are up 10-5. He ambushed him.
Well, Cruz, you gave up your first big league home run. And you did it in a fashion. It's a bullet to right field off the bat. Dexter Fowler got a fastball in the middle and just hooked this thing into the seats. That was fun.
And a great crowd reaction. Now you got to score it. Scudero takes inside. Yeah. See, oh, there's a man after my own heart. George, he's like me. Uses different colored pens. It's beautiful. This guy's.
Yeah, but you got around like 25 colors.
And you know what
he's
else?
Down to 2.
Yeah, you know what I like what he does? He shows direction of hits also. Show those arrows again, guys. I'm going to zoom in there. See those red lines he has? That's the direction, folks, of where the hit. Center field, the one on the right there. You can see the one for Tulo right down the third base line. So when he looks back on his book, he knows not only that a guy had a single or a double, but where that single or double went. Guy's a pro.
Keeping track of balls and strikes, too. Coloring in those boxes on the right-hand side. Here's another base hit. Scudero to right field. Second hit for Scudero in the ball game.
George, we began the evening talking about Dexter Fowler, and though he has been confounding at times as you look at Lucas Harrell, he is such an intriguing player. He's still young. He's been up in the big leagues. He's been back and forth. He's had to revisit AAA on a few occasions. But George, now with the weight strength, he's working out with Giambi and Tulowitzki this offseason, he's on pace to hit 20+ home runs. You know how he runs. He's going to hit in the teens and triples. He's done that 2 straight years. He's going to get his fair share of doubles. It's really an interesting offensive player when he's batting at the top of the order.
Well, it's a fun one to watch, I can tell you that. You know, I think where Dexter's got to understand, too, I really think the turning point for me with Dexter, when about 3 weeks ago, everybody's writing the players in the papers on talk radio, get rid of Dexter, you got to send him down again, let him find his way through. Is he going to be the guy optioned out? His manager showed a lot of faith in him every day. And I think it's obviously being paid for right now.
10-5 Colorado.
of Kadire. We'll take a look through the camera lens with Rockies outfielder and talented photographer Michael Kadire as he adds to his impressive ballpark photography portfolio and learn what drives his strong work ethic on the diamond. It's Rockies All Access. Eye of Kadire Saturday after the game. Xavier Cedeno's in, one of two lefties in the bullpen. Cargo's at the plate.
I mentioned the other day about Cedeno. He was a Rocky draft, 31st round out of a junior college out of Florida. And then the Rockies ended up releasing Cedeno. He signed as a free agent with the Houston Astros. After skipping a year of baseball. It was in AA, then AAA, then the big leagues. It was worked out of the bullpen. Slider fastball. He run up to 90, 91 miles an hour. He went to Tulsa at a very young age and as a starting pitcher. Did pitch very well. And the next year came back out of the bullpen, didn't pitch well again, and got released. And it's one of those guys, you just don't give up. Here he is, left-handed, pitching in the big leagues. Pitching against his former club, the Colorado Rockies.
1-1 on Cargo. And this ball in the air to deep center field. Going back, and Schaefer's run out of room. Cargo has hit another. Second jack of the night for Carlos Gonzalez.
More importantly, too, now 41 RBIs on the year for Gonzalez. Man, oh man. Just stay hot. Why not? This is so much fun to watch.
Righty, lefty, it does not matter.
Just keep pounding it. This is a lot of fun. Fastball out over the plate. Cedeno tried to trick him with a heater away after a slider. It got elevated, and he elevated it down to the ballpark in the left center, one of the deepest parts of the ballpark.
That is one special talent. Troy takes a strike on a breaking ball. It's 0-1.
Well, they've yet to get an out. Base hit, base hit, base hit, home run, base hit, home run. How's it going for you so far?
Not too well. My buddy up in the stands there, George, he's going to have to get a new set of pens.
So what's he do on the home runs? He just like draw it all the way to the fence?
That on the two Cargo hit, he's going to extend that line up to the top of the page to indicate it went really, really far in that direction. You know what? I bet you that guy, because there are plenty of folks who do this. I bet you that gentleman, when he's not at the ballpark, he's at home and he scores every single ball game.
Probably.
Yeah. Go back, we'll go 07. I remember that Phillies series, flips to July 23rd. The beautiful things about being a fan of this game. 3-1 count on Troy. 6 runs in the inning for the Rockies. Troy, hard ground ball to second. Altuve will throw him out. So that ends the string of 6 straight hits. The club record was 12, which is also the National League record, I believe. It's a major league record. That was a game, George, 2 years ago. See, that gentleman scored that one, George. That was July the 30th against the Cubs. Troy kind of limping right now through the dugout. And that's not good. He's going downstairs with Keith Duggar. Joe Diaz, the assistant clubhouse manager. I have to look again at the video of him running to first. Whoop, something grabbed. About 4 or 5 steps out of the box. I just hope it's not that hip flexor up the upper quad that's been a chronic injury for him.
Yeah, it sure has been. It got him right there pretty good. And then it, yep.
2 on Todd, and Cedeno strikes him out. Two outs, Kadire at the plate. The Rockies have hit around here in the 6th inning. Book closed on Lucas Harrell. 5+, 9 runs, all of them earned, 10 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. A contrast to his ball game against the Rockies back in April at Minute Maid, 7 shutout innings. Reiner, Cruz faced 2 hitters, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. 12-5 Colorado.
June 2nd, Team Super's t-shirt giveaway. Carlos Gonzalez, the first 20,000 through the gates. You'll get those. So get your tickets for that. It's all part of that Dodger weekend as the National League West rivals come to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Good pitch, 2-2 on Kadire. Kadire, a grand slam in the first. Rockies got off to a 4-0 lead. He was 5-1 after 2. But then Friedrich had a rough 3rd inning. He gave up 4 runs and stayed at 5-5 to the bottom of the 5th when the Rockies got a go-ahead run to make it 6-5 on the Cargo home run, his first. And he just hit a 2-run home run a moment ago. 4th multi-home run game of the year for Gonzalez, 8th of his career. Three and 2. That gives you an idea how big Chris Snyder is. George was talking about it earlier. Chris Snyder, one of the biggest catchers you will see. 6'4", which a lot of times when scouts see a guy that big behind the plate, they think, well, we'll move him to first if he has pop.
Yeah, first and third. Let's just put that big body somewhere else behind that plate. Won't be able to take the wear and tear squatting over the course of years, but Snyder's obviously been able to do that.
Ball 4. So Kadire walks, and Willeen Rosario, who got it started, George, with what turned out to be a single and an error. Initially it was going to be a leg double, but he got the rally started with a leadoff single about 20 minutes ago. First of 6 straight hits. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Called strike 0-2. Rockies have Adam Ottavino up. Well, that pen, George, did a nice job on Monday in both ball games. This is a tweener. Tell you what, that's a smart play by Cedeno. Pick it up and take it yourself to the bag. What an inning for the Rockies. Dexter Fowler, a 3-run shot. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run shot. A 6-run, 6th inning. 12-5 Rockies.
Inning, the best inning of the night for Christian Friedrich. You got Schaefer to pop out. Jose Altuve hit one off the end of the bat. Todd Helton a nice little flip to Christian Friedrich, and then Jed Lowry a fly ball to center field. That's our Excel Energy high efficiency inning. Friedrich gone after 6 innings. He's on the plus side, allowed 5 runs on 11 hits. Walked 1, struck out 6. So Tulowitzki had to leave the ball game with what is now an undisclosed leg injury. As soon as we have full disclosure, we'll let you know. Scudero moves from second to short. DJ LeMahieu is in at second, and Adam Ottavino is on for the 10th time. He's been very good, George. Picked up from St. Louis.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Dave Holliday, our pro scout that works special assistant for Dan O'Dowd, has St. Louis organization, and when he became available on the waiver wires, it was a pretty smart pickup by the Rockies. Holliday had scouted him in spring training, noticed that he had made a couple of adjustments. He went to AAA. Bo McLaughlin did a little more completion of those adjustments, and here it is. Hard slider, good fastball. Not afraid to throw strikes.
Carlos Lee at the plate, and this is fouled off out of play. The Rockies, with the release of Jamie Moyer, they brought up Carlos Torres, but they have not made a commitment as to who will start on Friday against the Dodgers. Ground ball to LeMahieu. Good movement for the big man, and he throws to Helton. And DJ LeMahieu, who is a big star at LSU, is a large second baseman. 6'3", 205, 210 pounds. One out. J.D. Martinez will step up. Jeremy Guthrie, and one of the hottest pitchers in the National League, George, tomorrow, Bud Norris.
He's very hard. 5-1 right now. The only place he's really struggled has been out on the road. At home, Norris is 3-0, on the road 2-1, but a higher earned run average. Overall, 334, 5-1. 62 innings with 62 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's had a big night. .4-0 in May with a major league best 117 earned run average. 2-0, and this one should be playable. Helton and Rosario, it's tied.
Very difficult. You got wind swirling, high fly ball. It gets a little darker here, though, made easier, but Helton has to run all the way almost midway through that Rockies dugout to make the catch. Never took his eyes off the baseball.
Wow, that's up and in. Maxwell gets hit by Ottavino on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Ooh, right in the back of the arm. Small of the arm there. That hurt a little bit.
So I got to thinking, George, a moment ago. I'm watching Helton get loose, and Ottavino run past him on his way in from the bullpen. Saying, man, Helton's seen a lot of guys run past him in his career with the Rockies.
16 years. How many times he watched them all run by here?
Well, Doug did some quick math.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he looked it up. I told him not to, but he did. He likes
he
those
didn't look that up.
How many pitchers do you think Helton has played with?
Well, no, that's a different story.
How many pitchers?
All of them haven't ran by him.
Well, no, but some ran by him across the white line to start the game. Others have come running in from the bullpen.
Let's see. Hold on a minute. You know what? I'm going to say like 500 or something.
No,
300.
That'd be too many.
Well, we've had a few here.
Yes. Swung on and missed.
I mean, I'm not being mean. We just have had a few here.
You're being honest. 207 207 pitchers.
In the history of the franchise?
Yeah, Todd's called teammates. No, not in the history, but since Helton got here, which was late '97.
See, I was thinking history of the franchise because it seems like he's been here forever.
Right.
He has.
Pretty
How many
good.
in the history of the franchise, Doug?
Don't do that, Tim. And that 207 does include Brent Maine.
See, there you go. He was a pitcher for an inning. Got to win.
It was a good one for an inning. Dougie, thank you. Chris Johnson, 2 for 2 and a sac fly. Here's the 1-2. Dexter Fowler, George, the midweek leading candidate perhaps for player of the week in the National League.
Well, I would think so. .244 in Rock's history. There you go. Got it. That can't be right.
So there was only 37.
No, recount. Recount.
That sounds right.
93 to 97.
This is a broken bat roller past the diving Marco Scudero. And Maxwell will long stride it to third. That'll bring up Chris Snyder. .95 on the gun, but way out of the strike zone, 1-0. Astros have only one less hit than the Rockies, but they have 7 fewer runs. Yeah, the Rockies, George, have hit the cycle in terms of home runs tonight, too. Cargo has a solo home run and Dexter has a 3-run home run, and Kadire has a slam.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. When you can do that in one night.
Is that okay? Does that help?
That generally helps the cause.
So if we got a solo shot, then we would have the cycle for home runs.
We already have it. I told you Cargo has
well, that's right. I'm not thinking straight. Give me a minute. So I got to do a Rockies read. Mike Fox, the producer, is talking to me, screaming at me. He said, do this Rockies read, you be quiet. Hitting the road, subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Rockies out-of-market game online and on your favorite devices in HD quality when you're not at home.
.3-0 on Snyder. 2 outs. Runners at first and third. New York native Adam Ottavino. He's got a new team to root for in hoops, the Brooklyn Nets. He's from Brooklyn. Catches the corner, 3-2.
Matt Reynolds got up, started to toss a little bit. They've got Buck in the on-deck circle. To happen to get the bases loaded here on a 3-2 count, if he's ready to go, he'll probably be the guy they'll bring in. They have 3 lefties. Two righties, Downs one right-hander. Gonzalez a switch hit.
3-2.
That'll wake up everybody behind home plate.
Woke me up.
Did it? Come on, you were wide awake. But all those people might have just been relaxing a little bit. Here, watch this. Watch this behind home plate. Watch everybody. Oh, what a great game. Hey! Yeah, I got you. Don't look away. I want to see that again.
Got him on a slider. Nasty pitch. Snyder strikes out. Ottavino works a scoreless 7th inning. Stretch time at Coors Field. You must always pay attention. 12-5. Rockies. A lot to look back upon. First inning, bases loaded. Michael Kadire. First pitch swinging against Lucas Harrell, and he hit his second slam of the year. But then the third inning, Christian Friedrich with 2 outs on a 3-2 pitch gives up a 2-run double to Chris Snyder. And with Maxwell scoring, that tied up the game. 5-5 in the 5th. Cargo rips one to center field. And it was gone. 6-5 Colorado. 6th inning, the Rockies went nuts. 6 straight hits, including Dexter Fowler's 3-run home run, his 8th of the year. Then Cargo went deep again. 2-run shot this time. And the Rockies lead at 12-5. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Go see him, South Broadway in Littleton. New third baseman Marwin Gonzalez. And David Carpenter is now on the hill for Houston. 4th pitcher used tonight by Brad Mills.
And he was brought up on Monday, and as they started to expand through everything, guys starting to go in different directions, trying to figure out how they were going to cover all these games with that off day. Didn't know if something wouldn't go in the right direction. 34 games a year ago, after starting the year at Corpus Christi, threw 14 ball games in Corpus Christi. Had 5 saves there, 14 innings, 17 strikeouts. Doesn't walk a lot of people. Last year at the big league level, he 293 earned run average. Over 34 games, 27 2/3, 28 29. 29 strikeouts and just 13 walks. 26 years old. Fairmont, West Virginia.
1-1 the count, and that's in there for a strike on Jordan. Pacheco with an RBI single his last time up. Pacheco will be followed by DJ LeMahieu. Came into the ball game when Tulowitzki had to leave. Still haven't gotten word on what the exact injury is with Troy. He kind of pulled up on a ground ball last inning as he was running to first. Running up the line, something grabbed. And he took it right down the stairs into the clubhouse. And Pacheco, a strikeout victim against Carpenter. Well, during batting practice today, Michael Kadire had one of our microphones on.
He's got new shoes.
Running shoes. As soon as I get one, I'm gonna look at him.
Those are 6 shoes, by the way. What size are those?
11.
You need to order 12s. 12s.
6 bags. It started liking me. 6 bags. Caught up. Me too.
Nice, nice. You got 6?
DJ LeMahieu takes a strike. This is his 6th at bat since being called to the Rockies. Big league time with the Chicago Cubs.
Participated a year ago in the Cub organization for the Fall Arizona Fall League. One of 7 representatives there. Swung about well in the Fall League. And then traded Brian Stewart with Casey Weathers.
Pretty good slider, late moving slider, 1-2. Got 60 at bats last year for the Cubs, hit .250. He identifies pitches well. He's always swung the bat.
Not necessarily a big power guy, but a guy that will get a lot of singles and strike out a lot.
2-2 and 96-mile-an-hour fastball by Carpenter. 2 straight strikeouts. That'll bring up Fowler. Dexter a double and a 3-run home run, 2 for 4. Out of town scoreboard brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. Arizona in the 4th, the 1-0 lead in San Francisco. Bad news for the Dodgers, George, who were coming to town Friday. One day after coming off the DL, Matt Kemp played last night, went 1 for 4. He had to leave the ball game tonight. Apparently, he re-injured. Look at it. Oh, they're going to warn both sides now.
Well, inside fastball. Pretty obvious message trying to be sent.
You don't send messages up there, though.
No, like to send them down a little bit lower when you send them. Well played umpire Marty Forster did the right thing.
1-1. George, there's a thought that's been passed along for years in baseball that when it's right on left from a pitcher or left on right and a ball is that far in that there was intent as opposed to a ball getting away and kind of running, you know, right on right, running up and in.
I don't think he was trying to throw it at his head. I just think he was trying to get behind and send a message. He sent it.
He strikes out the side. Rockies lead by 7. At 20th and Blake, they're up 12-5. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Top of the 8th inning. Esmil Rogers will throw the 8th. It's been an up and down year for Esmil Rogers. The unsightly 8.18 ERA.
Walks the biggest issue. 22 innings, 17 walks. He's going to strike out some people. He's got 27 strikeouts, but then you mix in 30 hits in 22 innings. With the 17 walks, it's not a big deal to give up hits if you're not giving up walks to go along with it, to where you can get some double play balls, work your way out of some innings. Not been the case so far.
Marwin Gonzalez, who just came in the ball game, will lead things off. Crowd of 28,102.
Funny, I counted 103.
You counted yourself.
Was that what it is? I counted you too, though.
I'll save you the football analogy, George, but Seattle,
what was the 21-7?
Texas 21-7.
Not pretty.
Got 20 hits.
Texas did?
No, Texas had a dozen hits. Seattle had the 20 hits.
How many home runs?
They hit a few. Smoke hit a couple. Jesus Montero hit his 7th. Dustin Ackley hit one.
Gonzalez, former Ranger, came over in a trade for Cliff Lee. Blake Bevan, that got the win in that ball game, also came in a trade for Mr. Lee.
0-2, ground ball to second. LeMahieu. 1 out. We now have word from the clubhouse on the injury to Troy Tulowitzki. Strained left groin. Strained left groin. Jordan Schaefer will come up. Tough shot to Scudero. You better hustle, Schaefer. A little wide turn will come back. I'm sure that'll be a base hit. Time for the Home Depot doing more on defense. Home Depot more saving, more doing. Watch Todd Helton here. Flashing back to his volunteer days. Little option pitch to Christian Friedrich. We get Altuve. Home Depot doing more on defense. 1 out, 1 on. 13 hits now for the Houston Astros. Altuve's 2 for 4. So Kemp's re-injured that hamstring. This ball is on through a base hit. And with Tulowitzki in the groin injury, George, you just hope that it's one of those deals where you can, maybe a day or two off and you calm it down. Those leg injuries, especially for a middle infielder,
big guys too.
It's hard to protect it.
That's a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, long legs, tall, 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, dangerous at bat. Dangerous hitter at the plate right now, Jed Lowry. He does have the power. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs. He's walked back in the third, scored a run.
And he's tied for the lead in home runs by a shortstop in the National League with Troy and also Washington's Ian Desmond.
Well, you pointed out early in the ball game, better hitter average-wise right side, more power left side. And that's where you got to be careful with him on this left side, not to get a ball out over the plate and let him extend.
Line drive, left field. And Gonzalez makes the catch. Now bring up Carlos Lee. In the Toyota postgame show, Toyota Talk will continue. Text Toyota to 720-720. You'll also learn how to win a $500 gas card. All of that from Toyota. Lee is 0 for 4 tonight. He's the only player for Houston not to have reached in the game.
Runners in scoring position tonight. Rockies 5 for 10. Houston 4 for 15. There's been 4 occasions tonight the Rockies hitters were in scoring position in the on deck circle.
Yeah. 1-1 that score now between the Giants and Arizona. Middle of 5. That's Lincecum and Kennedy. Good matchup. Nice catch. Two outs, 2 on, the 1-1. Check swing, foul ball.
Oh, I like it when they catch him like that. Got it right in his hat. Huh, little high fives. That's right, you bet.
That's awesome. Nasty hook. See you later. Esmil Rogers leaves 2 on in the 8th. 12-5 Colorado.
Doing what we did on Monday at least once a week.
Doubleheader?
With a day off right after it?
Yeah, that's our money. Especially when win too.
Yeah.
You might want to ask the other 24 guys in Uni.
I would think that the players would like that. It's a long day Monday. Here's Scudero against Carpenter.
It's a really long day.
It's a long day, but players, George, you can speak to this better than I can, covet those rare off days. It's 162 games in 180 days. So instead of 18 off days, you play a double dip. You've added a 19th day where you can be at home, especially when it's home.
The only bad thing is it's a long doubleheader. Usually pretty too tired to get out of bed to enjoy the off day. You miss half of it.
2-0 on Scudero. Do you want the good news or the bad news for the Padres tonight, George?
Give it all to me.
Bad news is they lost again. They've lost 6 in a row. The good news is Carlos Quentin, who just came back, hit 2 home runs.
Personally, I thought that was a pretty good move. Scoot over the fly ball to right. Maxwell will get there and make the play.
That'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Who wants tacos? Well, we've got tacos because the Rockies have scored 7 runs. Scored a lot more than that. Don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Hurdles Pirates got to 500 tonight. They beat the Reds 2-1.
National League Central.
Oh no! Take a good look. Where's this one land? That's the 3rd jack of the night for Gonzalez. Number 13. Don't touch him, you may burn your hand.
Just keep going like this, you're getting treated like Barry Bonds. They'll just start walking you. You heard the reaction out of that dugout. Oh! Yeah, that was one of those.
Thirteenth time in Rockies history a player has hit 3 bombs in a game. The last to do it, the big man Giambi in Philadelphia last May. There wasn't any doubt about any of these, was there?
No, there wasn't. I mean, all these just crushed. I thought this one might get to the 3rd deck, to be honest with you. It just hit off the face of the 2nd one.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. It's serious. It's real serious. Ask those guys in the other dugout how serious it is. Folks at home, if you haven't taken notice, he's pretty good.
Colvin with a fly ball to center field. Two outs. That'll bring up Helt.
It looks like Renicke's out warming up for the Rockies right now. Golden pinch hit. I think that's Renicky. It is. What a nice job he's done this year. Rogers works an inning, couple of hits, strikeout, did a nice job.
Todd takes ball 1. Here's the list of Rockies that have hit 3 homers in a game. Big Cat did it in 95. Walker at 97. Mike Lansing at 98. Walker again at
Lansing
99.
Yeah.
I'll give you another name that'll surprise you. We do this once a year. I'll have to give it to you after the break.
No, go ahead. Give it to me right now. Hurry up.
Nope, can't do it. Todd Helton grounds out to 2nd. Carlos Gonzalez with his 3rd home run of the night. 2 solos and a 2-run shot. We've got
Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Buy Jack in the Box right now. At Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by CDOT. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time. Don't risk a $65 fine. Take 2 seconds to buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. The Rockies have hammered the baseball tonight. That man in particular, 3 home runs among 5 hit by Colorado tonight. Fowler a 3-run shot, Kadire a grand slam. It will be a very happy Toyota postgame show led by Joel Klatt. Joel?
Yes, it will. How about some going Gonzalez? 3 home runs. We'll touch on Carlos Gonzalez this night. Clearly, this guy is hot right now. Busts into the top 3 in terms of National League RBI leaders. Plus, 6 is up. How about that 6th inning? 6 straight hits, 6 runs. Rockies put 12 on the board in that inning. Get to 12 runs. Tacos for everybody's. Plus, guys, Tulo update. We'll get you down to the clubhouse. Get all the Troy Tulowitzki news out of the way. The hamstring pulls up lame. It's been ruled a strain, so we'll get you all the latest on the Toyota postgame show. That's coming up, Drew.
All right, Joel, thanks very much. Yeah, strained groin, and Troy had to go to the clubhouse, but as it was just mentioned, we'll find out more from Joel and the gang in the postgame. Tyler Colvin will take over for Helton in the 9th inning. Josh Renicky looking for the final 3 outs. And curveball for a strike to J.D. Martinez.
Boy, nice job that Renicky's done this year. Coming out of the Rockies bullpen, pound that strike zone, throw strikes, get ahead, work ahead, get quick outs. Pitched all over the place.
On the ground to third. Pacheco. Perfect throw. All right, the guys that have hit 3 home runs in a game get Galarraga, Walker twice, Lansing, Vinny Castilla did it in '99. Helton did it in 2000. Jeff Cirillo in 2000. Todd Hollandsworth in '01. Here's the guy, George, that's always forgotten. Jose Ortiz. Remember him? Second baseman. He did it in '01. Todd Helton did it again in '03. Walker did it for the 3rd time in '04. That was in Cleveland. Hit his final home run of the night in the 10th inning. And last year, Jason Giambi, for the first time in his great career, hit 3 against the Phillies, and now Cargo joins that list.
Through the raindrops.
Yeah, this is a base hit the other way for Maxwell, his 2nd hit of the night. And let's see who the pinch hitter will be. Bogusevic. Brian Bogusevic looks like he's going to pinch hit. He's the starting right fielder most nights. Converted pitcher. 1 out and 1 on in the 9th inning. Rockies up 13-5. 8 unanswered runs. Renicky misses down low. This year, Josh Hamilton's hit 4 in a game, joining that very small fraternity. Guys that have hit 4 in a game. He had 1 last night, by the way, his 21st. Ryan Braun has hit 3 in a game this year. Curtis Granderson has hit 3 in a game this year. He had 1 yesterday also, I believe. Joey Votto has hit 3 in a game this year. And now Carlos Gonzalez. Just looking at the list of guys that have hit 3 against the Rockies, George. There's some huge names on that list. Line drive to short. Scudero gloves it. Bogusevic is gone. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Barry Bonds did it twice against the Rockies. Carlos Beltran did it last year when he was wearing a Mets uniform. Sammy Sosa did it here in '02.
9 RBIs too.
And then he shut it down. He would have had another 8 big.
5 innings. How about that?
Piazza did it in '96 when he was with the Dodgers. Phil Nevin did it. Reggie Sanders, who had a good career, did it. I forgot Chris Young of Arizona did it in '09 against the Rockies. Snyder, a 2-run double and 3 punch-outs. Maxwell's going to move up. Defensive indifference is how you score that.
scouring some of the scores, George. You taking a look at that American League East and National League East lately?
Everything's pretty tight.
Everything's tight, but everybody's above 500.
Yeah, they're all playing good baseball right now. At Baltimore, 29-21, the worst team, and that's the Red Sox, 3.5 back entering tonight, 25-24. First time they've been above 500.
And Georgie, they won again tonight, so they're 26-24. And everybody in the NL East is above 500. The Marlins won again tonight, and Stanton hit his 12th home run of May.
Now they were a game and a half back. The Mets game and a half back.
Philly beat the Mets tonight, 10-6.
11 games separate last, first in the National League Central. In the West, it's a little different. 16 games separate the Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers 32-17 coming into play tonight.
And the Red Sox have won 8 of 11.
Kershaw tonight pitching against Milwaukee at home, trailing 2-1 in the fourth. Game Arizona San Francisco, you mentioned earlier about Kennedy and Lessicum. It's still tied 1-1.
Again, the big story in that Dodger game, the fact that Matt Kemp apparently has strained that hamstring again, and he just came off the disabled list yesterday. 2-2 the count, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Snyder against Josh Renicky. Crowd of 28,000 plus waiting for the final strike. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Snyder battling. I can say I'll give him credit for that. This ball game, he caught the game. Rockies 14 hits, all the home runs, 13 runs. This last at bat with 2 outs and a 2-2 count. He's battling.
Three and 2 count. And Renicky walks Snyder. To bring up Marwin Gonzalez for the second time. Slap foul. You know, George, who's had a bounce back year? Kansas City Royals, Jonathan Broxton. He's got 11 saves.
He's pitched very well over there, and a lot of 1, 2, 3 saves. Starting to strike out people again, too. That's been a plus, you know, with the loss of Soria, who had his second Tommy John. I mean, they were feeling pretty dismal over there. Broxton done a nice job.
1 strike pitch to Marwin Gonzalez. Bouncer to short, and that's the ball game. Rockies win it, going away 13-5. The man of the night, Carlos Gonzalez, 3 home runs, 3 of the 5 Rocky home runs. It was all the outfielders. Kadire a grand slam early, Dexter a 3-run home run. That's a big night for the outfield trio of Cargo, Dexter, and the Cuddy Man.
Tonight's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Carlos Gonzalez broke up a 5-5 tie with a home run, and then his next time up a 2-run shot. And then just a little icing on the cake against Carpenter in the bottom of the 8th inning. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. Carlos Gonzalez, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. I'm sure we'll hear from him in the postgame. Friedrich the win. Rockies have won 3 straight, 13-5.